Hello, Facebook Live. This is my first video on my Hannah Ruth T Facebook page. So I'm just making sure that it is going live because I was doing some live for another job I do and it didn't go live. So just want to check that the little bit that says you're live has gone on. So that's on, so that's really good. Hopefully people will see this. If I look down, I have my laptop here, so I'm trying to sort of cross promote that. So I might just try and see, I might have an inception of seeing that. Oh, I can see myself on here. So there we are. So I'm just going to share that out on live on Facebook, doing a tea tasting. So come and join with a cup of tea. Hopefully that might mean a couple people come over. Oh, right, okay, so that's a bit of an inception. But so today I wanted to talk about my snow dragon that I recently received from my mother when she went to London, and I just asked her to go and get really anything she wanted to, and I was quite surprised when she came and brought me this. So I'll pop that in here. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So you can see that the leaves are really nice and long. They're actually not very greeny, more sort of on the brown, but they've got sort of mix of, let me see if I pick one up, whiter leaves and then really darker ones, which is quite interesting to see a bit of a difference. But they're really nice, full twisted long leaves, almost like sort of little dragons that have been asleep. I mean, that's quite a nice big leaf, so that's quite nice. So quite nice. But the smell is it's fresh, but not too grassy. It's almost like dried leaves on, I'm trying to think of the description, oh sorry, I'm trying to lean on that. Dried leaves, but they're not mossy and they're not damp, they're just nice and fresh. Hang on, look at the notes, but I try not to read the notes too much because I think that can force an image or a smell before I sort of have come up with my own. No, it doesn't really say. Mild mellow with a hint of dry greenness, but it's really nice, almost a bit floral and vanilla-y slightly, but that's very nice. I like that. One last look at the dried leaves, and then we will brew. Hang on, let me see if I can move things down a bit, if my stand will go without falling over. Okay, you can see my dressing gown here is here. I have to sit on it because I need a big cushion to sit on because our floor's not very comfy. There, and 90 degrees, so I brewed at 100 and have let that cool down a bit. And we won't fill up the whole way. Put a bit more in. I should do a proper full measure, but I'll do that when I'm doing it a bit more scientifically. And using my timer, we'll do the green one for 3 minutes, but it says, oh no, it does say brew for 3 minutes. I thought it was 2. So, it's not really much better. I'll try and look down from here. So the description that Fortnum & Masons gives is, this is a slightly unusual type of tea that is somewhere between a green tea and a silver needle. The twisted downy leaves are harvested during the late frosts at the start of spring. They are seared in a wok and then dried. Now, I couldn't find much on it from the Fortnum & Masons page. They pretty much said the same thing. Closer in flavour to a white tea, but with a recognisable green tea character. Its origin is from the Yunnan province in China. Yes, Lisa, the teapot is IKEA, as is my glass teacup that comes with it. Sorry, I'm not actually looking at the comments, which is really bad for live, isn't it? Hang on, I will just let me... Okay, no, that's fine. That's right. No other questions so far. That's fine. I can't read and supervise the timer all at the same time. But from what I can see elsewhere, I commented it on my haul saying about this, that I'd got this one, and I can't remember who commented on it. Can't remember, and it's terrible. Norman, I think it was, but he'd said that he'd never really heard of it before. So I think this is a bit of an unusual tea that not that many people do know of or have tried. But while I can see that the timer is imminent, we will make sure. So I like that the box that my strainer comes in so much that I like to put it back into the strainer when it's done and when I finished using it. But it says, so brew for 3 minutes, but it can be infused several times, which is really good to know, because especially for Fortnum & Mason's teas, you do want to make sure that you've got a tea that you can use again. But hopefully... I'm going to just move that over and just empty the majority of the leaves out so that I'm not over brewing, because yeah, that's the only problem with teapots where it doesn't have an infuser in it, that you that's hot, that you have to empty it into as many cups as possible, or you have overstewed tea. It's not brilliant, but I have to say these leaves have expanded quite a bit already. It smells really nice. It's got a green hint, green tea hint. I can just right. So I tend to talk about the leaves first and then go on to the liquor, so I will just do that quickly. Normally it takes me a bit of time to actually sort of properly go through it. So you can see that, oops, dribbled. So you can see that the leaves have expanded quite a bit. That's quite a whole leaf. And yeah, they're sort of actually quite nice sizes of leaf. You can see that they've not been cut up too much or chop down, so that, which doesn't actually say that the tea is any better than those that are cut down, but for me, I think that sometimes there's a bit to hide if it's all chopped up. So yeah, you can see that leaf is. Yes, Lisa, so these can be done for multiple infusions. So that's practically a whole leaf. So yeah, multiple infusions, and I read somewhere on one of the pages I was just looking at that so up to 4 times. So that's quite good. So actually, though, how much did we pay for this? Oh goodness. So that was £5 for 20 grams. But cost per use of, I'll just move it up so I'm not crouching down so much. Oh, now we're at an angle. There we go. So cost per use of actually how many times you're infusing the tea actually is worth it in the end. And I do really find that the different infusions give you different flavours, and you know, you're in a bit of a different mindset of drinking it. So I sometimes find I'll have some tea in the morning, and then I'll have it the same leaves, so have a re-infusion in the afternoon, and it's completely different. I might have infused it for a bit longer, or use a slightly different temperature, and it just makes the flavours really different. So before so smelling ends up sort of taking a bit. Do I dry first? I tend to try and put them out like this and let them dry a little bit. They're Don May, I think is his name, from Mayleaf, which is he's a huge tea YouTuber, and I love watching his videos. And he's done from either leaving them I don't think he used an infuser basket, but he left sort of in fairly tight, so they were still quite wet, or I think he might have left them I don't think he left them in water. He left them at the bottom of the teapot, or he dried them out. I tend to, because I'm having it only a couple of hours later, they've not fully dried out, but that's up to personal preference, really. But there's a really nice. It smells of green tea more than a silver needle or white tea. And I dribbled that in my lap. Well done, Hannah. It's almost got a Japanese sencha scent, but not too much that it's too sort of has that marine-y spinachy. But there's just a hint of sort of slightly cooked spinach. It's really nice and fresh. The mild mellow, the taste and strength. It's mild. I wouldn't say it's mellow. It's a really lovely sort of full-bodied flavour. I don't know why I'm doing that, but it just feels. It's not sort of just in your nose. It feels as if it sort of surrounds you, and it's a really nice of that hint of vanilla almost, and slight bit of hay, and it's sunflower. I can't think what though. This is what I have to do when I'm doing a blog post, is I literally just have to sniff it over and over again. But you get, each smell is a different, and that's really lovely. It's almost like wildflowers, where they're not sort of super sweet like roses or peonies or something like that, but where there's just a hint of that kind of. No, not sunflower seeds, sunflower, a flower, not sunflower seeds. But you could actually get a bit of, no, it's not really nutty. But that, how some nuts are sort of sweet, like hazelnuts, they have that sort of sweet ish note to them. That's kind of with this. There's Josh is here at the computer. Josh, do you want to come on Facebook Live a minute? Do you want to? Can you just smell that for me? No, because I've said almond. That's in your head now. Well, he's not very helpful, is he? Not bittersweet. Just spinachy sweet. And I don't like using spinach on all descriptions for green tea, but it's that kind of almost a cucumber as well. It's that fresh, greeny sweetness, but not quite. But right. So the liquor smells, well, actually no, look at the colour. So the colour is a really nice, it's a really, because of clear, no, he said almonds because he heard me said it. He doesn't know what he's sniffing about, so that's anyway. So it's a really lovely, bright, clear, almost not glowing, but it's not a dull colour. Golden, very, very pale golden, early spring sunshine. But the smell is biscuity, like digestives. Again, that marini hint, green tea, spinach-esque. But the tip on your tongue, the tip of sweetness, sort of from digestive biscuit, and the same as the silver needle, where you get that kind of slight hint of floral sweetness. It's like it reminds me of honeysuckles when as you pinch out the top bit. So on honeysuckles, you get that sort of little bit of sweetness on the tip of your tongue. There's that biscuity, digestive, again, not super sweet. And I do think digestives are quite sweet, but they're nice, but they sort of aren't sickly sweet, sort of as a custard cream or bourbon would be. But it's got a nice, coats your tongue and the back, going down again. It sort of actually mellows and sweetens as it's going sort of around the back, but that tip of there's no sort of sour or astringent greenness that you sometimes get. I had a green tea, actually it might have even been this morning with, oh no, that's what, yeah, so I had Williamson's tea this morning, which was really nice, but I overbrewed it for a bit too long, so it had that slight to it, which actually wasn't very nice, but no, it says hint of dry greenness. It's got a hay, biscuits and hay, and that kind of dry sweetness, but sort of with that balance, not balance, but it's sort of the layers that you get with the green tea, where you sort of get that little bit of spinach or lettuce and trying to think. I find that's a really nice tea as someone who's just trying to get into green teas, or is already into green teas and you're just trying to expand a bit more. There's a really nice complex flavouring to it, and that's sort of making my mouth, it's moreish. That's really good. I like that a lot. But I find that I need to have my flavour wheel, big wheel with different flavour sort of styles on, from earthy flavours to fruity flavours, marine flavours, and it sort of goes all the way around, and it really helps. But I try not to look at it too much, because I find that, again, if you read the flavours before you've really experienced it, actually you get that kind of, you get almonds. This is a perfect example of that. If I said, oh, can you taste the rosiness in it, that, you know, there's rose essence in it, and you know, somehow you'd find it there, whereas it's very mild mellow with a hint of dry greenness isn't a brilliant description for further flavours, but actually it's that kind of perfect level of giving you an idea of how it is. So obviously if it's too flavourful, actually maybe you've overbrewed, or maybe it's not quite actually that one, but it doesn't give too much of the game away. But I wouldn't say mellow though, that's a really nice complex. And it just layers on your tongue, and it goes, it's in the tip, and as it goes back, that's really nice. And but I find maybe with like my the peony, white peony that I'm drinking in the day at the moment, there's really nice white tea, but and maybe it's because I'm just doing too large amounts. Is it morning or afternoon? I think that's really up to you. I do like drinking white tea in the morning. I find it's not too overly flavoursome, but something like this would be really nice, and there's a slow sort of build up of waking up. But I'm having it now, and it is what, 8 o'clock or so? I don't actually have my watch with me. It's 8 o'clock, so you can drink it any time. And hang on, let me do what we do. We'll do a bit of reading as well tonight. So I will go through my tea classified. If you are just into reading and just want if you're into reading and you like tea, definitely get this one, but the updated edition. I've got the new edition as well, but this literally has everything you need to know about tea in here. This is what, whenever I'm writing a blog post or prepping for a video, I will get this book out, and it is like the one book that I go to, because Jane Pettigrew, she knows everything about tea that there is to know, and she's so lovely. I met her several times. I had lunch with her once, which was amazing. But she knows everything, so she's written this book. Yeah, lots of people do drink tea after meals. And something like a pu'er is really good after a meal because it helps as a digestive. I don't mind. I tend to not have something like a breakfast or something that's too strong after a meal, but I think teas do just help with digestion, and just whether it's calming or just if to pep you up a bit, if I get really sleepy after eating all the time. But so I'll just read a little bit of this from here on white tea. So white tea was originally named after the tiny white and silver hairs that cover the bud as it develops at the tip of each shoot. White teas are now being produced in other parts of the world using other varietals. Now this was the thing that Norman said on my video. I'm pretty sure it's Norman, it's going to be really embarrassing. It's not. I will poem around. I've got hiccups now. And I can't remember which way it was around. Whether this is a white tea made with a green tea varietal or a green tea made with a white tea varietal. So they're sort of actually swapping the varietals with actually the processing of how they're made. But and although some white teas are made from the new leaf bud gathered before it starts to unfurl, other teas made from new bud and one or two young open leaves. Read there. Essentially, though, the thing with white tea, you can get almond. Oh, Lisa, did you look that up now? Once the new bud and baby leaves have been carefully gathered, they are dried in the sun or in a warm drying room. When they are brewed, they give very pale champagne-coloured liquor that is very light, soft, sweet and velvety in flavour. The antioxidant levels are said to be higher than in other types of tea. So, pop that there. So, if we get some of these ones out, see if I can find one that's particularly white. I found one or two. Now, let's put my phone's focus to the test. Oh, we just had it. Maybe not. No. Okay, but if you look at that, you can see it's got sort of almost, it is furry. That's the only way that you can describe it. There's a very, oh, wrong way round. Wow, wonderful filming tonight, Hannah. Absolutely fantastic. See, this is when I would do it with my, if I'm actually filming it not on Facebook Live, this would be a, this is when I do a close-up, but it's literally downy that you can stroke it. And that was a bit of a bigger leaf, but the leaves have gone, so they'll be picked. When's that saying on there? Harvested during the last frost at the start of spring, so they've not been in the sun too long. They're still sort of haven't really got that full depth of flavour that you get in an Assam or darker teas, but they're sort of really light, nice and light. So they're actually quite big leaves if you look at that sort of on against a finger length, those two. And then they unfurled to leaves of that size. It's quite a... See, this is the thing now with the wet leaves though. I then like going through them and actually seeing what the different types are like. So that's two stuck to... Aha! Amazing. Right. So this one, I don't want to put it too much, but I think this is actually two leaves. Yeah, there. So that is actually two leaves in attached at the end. So it's not just the buds and the very tips that are picked. So they pick the smaller top bud and the top two leaves from there. But it's getting that sort of the balanced smell of green freshness. And I need a thesaurus. I need to actually, do you know what I need to do? I keep saying I'll do this. Is go on like a perfume experience thing when you learn what the different scents are. So I know that's a sort of flower, but I can't think of what the flower is, and I don't know the scent. Whereas, like, if I went and did a perfume experience, I suppose. How do I mix teas? Have you ever tried mixing wines? You know, would you put, Pinot Grigio and, I don't know, a Rioja in one bowl or jug or glass? I think I did that when I was younger. I probably wouldn't do it now, but I don't know. I think I would be tempted to do it if you were just having not very nice tea bags or something like that. We all know my thoughts on tea bags, but I think when you have such lovely complex flavours as this, I don't think you need to mix them. I mean, you could just to see what it was like, but I don't think you'd want to. But See, now it's tasting a bit more green now. But it's still, not claggy, it's not the word, but it makes an overstimulation of saliva, if that's a good thing. But I feel sort of like I want to drink more, and it's definitely sweet, but not sickly. Like I've had, find with my Ceylon sometimes, that's very caramelly brown sugar. And it's just nice, it's lovely. Very nice. But yes, so that is my live tasting Snowdragon experience. If anyone in Plymouth would like to come and try some of my Snowdragon, it is that £5 for 20 grams. So some money for more. That's really bad that I can't think of that. Josh, if £5 is 20 grams, what's a kilo? I can't do maths. 50. 25 pounds a kilo. Is that right? Am I right in saying that? I think so. I don't know. To be honest, when I go to Fortnum & Mason's, so long as it's not like £1,000 a kilo, and probably even that I would do it, but I never buy a kilo. I buy like 20 grams in a small amount because they have the most amazing selection there. And I don't go to London often, so I was like, that one and that one and that one, that one, and just pick anything. That's why I said to my mum, just pick whatever you want. And it's sort of nice that this wasn't a blatantly £25, 100 grams. Okay, 100 grams. Right. Okay. Thanks for that, Hina. That is now. So that's 250 grams for a kilo. That's fine. I don't mind. But again, my point is exactly if I'm reinfusing, really. So that's £5 for 20 grams, and if I reinfuse at least 3 times, so that's cut that down by a third, two thirds or something. So essentially, it's like £2 for 20 grams. So completely worth it, really. And again, my point about tea bags is that you only need one really nice cup of good tea rather than 3 or 4 really rubbish teas, because it's just not worth it. And that's really good. So yes, if anyone wants to come to Plymouth or is in Plymouth and you can want to try some tea, but that's all the bits that it said. So it's possible for reinfusing. That's what it looks like. But yes, it's a very, I do love these cards that the teas come with. I think it's a really good way, tells you all about it, brewing information, taste and drink origin, and then a picture, and then they should do a package on, but it does, it comes on the bottom sticker there. But I just think they're very smart, so every time we go, try and pick up a few. But yes, I hope Lisa's enjoyed this, because she's been commenting lots. But if you'd like to see anything like this again, I have plenty. Oh, is it back to front? Oh. Well, so you've enjoyed looking at that then. That is back to front. That's because it's Facebook. Never mind. Don't worry. Catch my blog about it in the next 2 days. It'll go up, and you can read all about it with that looking the proper way. But essentially, Snowdragon, very, very nice. I'm going to try and find why it's called that and find out a bit more information in it, because actually it's not in the book, because Lisa, I think I'm saying that Lisa's right. No, that's fine, Hina. You don't get a discount for buying more, because that's like the tourist. It's not touristy. I don't want to say it's touristy, but that's the bit where you choose how much. So even if it is really expensive for a kilo, actually a small amount in it in the little bags are quite nice, and they're very nice in Fortnum Masons. You can smell them, you can look at them, and they do have the most amazing, I just love Fortnum Masons. Just, that would be a dream brand for me to work with one day, is Fortnum Masons. I'm constantly harassing them on Instagram, tagging them in all my posts, because most of my tea is Fortnum Masons. But they've got proper infuser teapot units. They're not making it in a teapot. They have these amazing contraptions that make tea, like a barista coffee machine, but more magical and more wonderful. But they give you tasters. So if you're ever in London and you're going to Fortnum Masons, do go along to it's just as you walk in and on to the left in the main tea and coffee section, but do go in there, because they're really, really helpful. And if you just say, oh, I really like green tea, what can you recommend? They let you smell some different ones. Or if you say, I don't know what type of tea I like, what would you recommend? Or even if you say, I've been recommended the Snowdragon, do go along and try it. But there, I have been using a DIY tea bag as a bookmark. But what was I saying? Not Lisa, Jane. Jane does include a load of teas in here, but don't think, give me 1 second, again, should have checked this before we started live, but India, China, but this book is amazing because it shows you white teas, Jade Lily, no, I'll bring it tomorrow, Lisa, and you can try it tomorrow. I have it in my flask, which, no, okay, so no, that's not in here, but I'll talk about my flask another time, because it is a really good flask. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you'd be interested in seeing something like this again, I'd be more than happy to do something, and maybe even I'll have to get Lisa to come on here one day and actually do a live with me, and everyone can see her reaction as she's trying some of my teas. We have tea discussions in class, and yeah, it gets serious. Yes, do try Snowdragon if anyone ever offers you Snowdragon, and I hope you enjoy this, and do keep an eye on my Facebook page for the blog post coming up. I will try and get that up tomorrow evening. And yes, Lisa, we do need cake. We have cake a lot. It is predominantly our lecturers are tea and cake. That's what it consists of. Now I've got distracted by cake. No, please do check out my Facebook page. I'm presuming few people who are watching this have come because they're on the Facebook, but if it's shared from my account, please do like my Facebook page. I really want to be able to share tea with people, so it just helps me to get my reach out there. And if you are on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, because we're already on Facebook, please do check out my accounts and like, subscribe, follow me on there. That's all Hannah Ruth Tea, but I really would appreciate it. And if people like this, we'll do this again, maybe next Monday or something, and I will try a different tea and share a bit more about this. But I hope everyone has a lovely evening, and we'll see you all soon. See you soon. Bye.